Hey everybody, welcome to the studio. Today I'm going to tell you how the Helix saved my career and changed my life. Hey everybody. Okay, so if you are any type of full-time musician, we can all agree on one thing. Sometimes it's awesome, and other times it's the worst. Other times it sucks. Feast or famine is another word. When it rains, it pours. Oh man, gigs, playing live in studio. Oh, this is amazing. But then all of a sudden, maybe something happens, or hey, the holidays hit and it slows down. It happens to everybody in the full-time music industry. It's a thing. I'm going to tell you the story today on how I actually ended up on the Helix. I don't think I've never told you guys. And it's a powerful story because it honestly really did change my life. I know that sounds silly, but line 6, I am eternally grateful. You saved our lives. We are eternally grateful. So let's backtrack to 2015. Okay. So 2015 hits. I'm out, I'm playing with multiple artists. And the artist I was with at the time was great. I was on an analog board, and on this particular gig, I was playing bass. And, everything was good. And right before the fall tour, we were told that we would no longer be needed for the following year. Normally, like, that's not a problem. But in Nashville, and at least in the touring community, when you're on a gig and you are employed, typically everyone just assumes, oh, we can't call Chad because he's out playing with fill in the blank. Oh, he's probably busy. He's on the road. I can't. He's probably busy. So it takes a while for people to realize, like, oh, he's available. Oh, we need a musician. We need keys, guitar, bass, whatever that tour might need. You do your best. I jump on the phone. I'm like, hey guys, hey, friends posting, and I'm doing posts on social media saying, hey, I'm available, I'm free. But it takes time. It was a slow process. And at this point, I had a wife, I had 4 kids, still have 4 kids, and I still have a wife. It's just awesome. But we had just had our 4th kid, and I had to put food on the table. I had to buy diapers. I had to do the hard stuff. I love my family. So, of course, I'm going to step up and do whatever is necessary. And as we've all probably been there, I start selling off gear. I start, first it's like, oh, I haven't played this guitar in a couple months. So I'll just let that go. Okay, well, it kept us afloat. I'll sell this amp. Bought some groceries. I'll sell this. I'll sell this. I just start bleeding gear and hemorrhaging all of the expendable gear I could to just keep the lights on, keep food on the table, keep my kids clothed and clean. What you do. I found myself boiled down to the lowest common denominator. I think I had one guitar, I think I had one electric guitar and 2 basses. That was it. Now, as you see, I have like a beautiful collection now, but at that point, man, it was getting pretty bad. It's getting pretty bad. So thankfully, as everything does, it shifts. The good times, they don't last, but the bad times, they don't last either. So bad times didn't last. I got a phone call. It was for a pop country gig. And I'm like, well, okay. I had started to meet friends that had done the Helix thing or had done the digital thing at least. And they were telling me, I had a buddy play for a fairly large pop artist at the time. And he was like, we have a show computer that changes all of our presets, everything for us on our pedals, on our synths. And I was like, I don't know how to speak that language. If I was to get called for that type of gig, I wouldn't know where to start. So that's where this lovely piece of gear stepped in. Line 6 was just starting to premiere it. And I was like, I can do that. That makes sense to me. I was able to afford it. Let's just say that I could afford it. I couldn't afford a Fractal. I couldn't afford a Kemper. They were slightly above, but I could do the Helix. So I took my last, remaining pieces of gear and I sold them. And I was like, all right, we're going all in. Let's do it. And at this point in music, I think it's really important to state that like amps were still very much so like that was it, man. Like you would go and get yourself like a Matchless or a D13, or you would go get some boutique amp, especially here in Nashville. Like you get something really nice, and that was your sound, that was your tone. You would never, at this point, I know it's crazy to think now because modelers are like everything, but at that point, it was very lonely. I felt very alone, especially in Nashville. Not saying Nashville musicians are snobs, but at the same time, there can be snobs out there in any city, any state, any musical community. There can be snobs, and you know what? Forget you guys. I got no time for that. All right, I got a Helix, and I put it on my pedal board. I tried to make it look as cool as I could, but it was a digital processor. It had the words Line 6 on it, which Line 6 was like, oh, dude, are you really playing a Line 6 and call yourself a professional? So stupid. So stupid. Yeah, I'm a professional playing a Line 6, and I let my playing speak for itself. That's I think the most important thing. At that point, it was kind of like eye-opening. I could really, I could do things on the Helix that I could never do with an analog board, or that I just didn't even know were possible. Routing, that was the biggest thing. I didn't realize how powerful of a tool routing was. In my mind, I thought it was like, oh, you go in, everything's in series, and then you come out the other side. And that's just what I grew up doing. You grab some pedals, threw them on the floor, plugged in, and out to your amp. And that was it. Hope you find God. Hope you have a good gig. That was it, man. Like, there was no special thing. When then I got into the Helix ecosystem, I started playing around with pedal order, and I started playing around with different options and ideas, and running my bass through guitar amps and running my guitar through bass amps, and just because it was unlimited. That was the beautiful thing of it. And so it changed my life in the sense that I was no longer bound to the routing and the signal chain that I grew up playing with. All of a sudden, my eyes were open, and I was only limited by my creativity. That was a challenge for me, and I loved it. So I started dialing in tones, and I started finding things, and I got this pop country gig, and I was like, okay, well, let's figure it out. I really pushed the Helix. Sorry. I really pushed the Helix to its limits. I had this thing. I had the Line 6 Variax, the James Tyler one. And it was awesome. And I still love this thing. P90, gold top, So it kind of looked, I could go under the radar and no one would really realize that, oh, it's a Line 6 guitar. Once again, don't care what people think about you. Don't care what people think about your gear. You like your gear, you play your gear. All right. So I had this. And what I would do is I would go in. They had this little Cat 5 connection. What in the world? What guitar has a Cat 5 connection? These guys, they're amazing. On this gig, I started realizing, oh, I could play the acoustic guitar part on the verse, kick into an electric guitar part, and it would change not only the guitar sound, it would route to a different output on the Helix. So I could be playing the acoustic part, simple, whatever, and then with one press of a button, boom, I'm going out of a different output of the Helix, and it's a different guitar. It could even be a different tuning. It was amazing. Once again, I had never crossed that bridge into like tonal possibilities. And at this point, I was all in. I loved it. I got to play that rig and this guitar, God, all over the country. It was amazing. It was beautiful. That Helix, I've gone around the world with that thing. I've played Dubai. I've played Jakarta. I've played all over Europe, South Africa, all over the US. I've taken this Helix all over the world. That's the thing that I think changed my life, was my ability to say yes and to bring solutions to countless musical situations. Okay, right now I just want to go through a few more tones just to show you what's all in the Lifesaver pack. I think you're really going to dig it. All right, let's go. The reason it's called the Lifesaver Pack is so that way you can just make a transition if you need to. If you have recently gone through what I went through and had to sell everything and you're having to rebuild with a Helix or an HX Stomp, these will get you going. Those are just some of the presets in this pack. I'll include those jam tracks just so you can, have fun with it and jam along with something. Be encouraged. Every musician goes through ups and downs. It's hard, and sometimes you can feel very alone, but you're not alone. You're not alone. I understand fully the weight and the pressure of providing for a family while being a musician, while chasing this thing that we love. So everyone, be encouraged. Keep going. If you need more presets, need resources, click down below, all that good stuff. Just want to be here for you and encourage you to keep going, keep making music, find your sound print, and we'll see you later.